So she's at a place where she feels like this is part of her. It's part of her brand. It's her little pet. That's why she cares about the awareness. Awareness is not fixing. Awareness is, hey, I have type 1 diabetes. I'm a victim. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Whatever that means for her. I don't know what it means. But if she was interested in a actual, like, healing, she wouldn't just nix your information. She would dive into it. The very first response was, nigga, you're talking about type 2 diabetes. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, type 1 diabetes, you can't get rid of. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, your approach was terrible.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to lie, Mel. Your approach was terrible. I wouldn't say that you shouldn't do it again. I would just say change your approach.
I wouldn't even hit her up if I wasn't even attracted to her.
If you're on, so there's some rules of engagement. If you're on a dating site, and this goes for women too, because women do this as well. If you're on a dating site, do not match with someone that you're not interested in. That's just rule number one. Don't feel sorry for them. Don't be bored. Don't want to talk to one of their friends in a picture. Like, if you don't want to talk to that specific person,
pat my back like I'm down.
I mean, I'm just,
hey man, you were trying to do something really nice, and I think that's you have a good heart, but it's just because you aren't interested, it's going to make your approach much more harsh, right? You're going to approach her much more harshly because you don't really care about how she responds in that way. I'm not saying you don't care. Obviously, you do care. You reached out. But I think that if you were attracted to her, you may have softened your approach just a little bit.
I doubt that he would have softened it. I think he would have actually said, "Hi, how are you today?" Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he would have led with, "Are you diabetic?"
Instantly put her on the defensive.
Do you have diabetes?
It's instantly going to put her on the defensive, though. Just, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's just like saying if you went through all the, these profiles and, I mean, if you see somebody that's grossly overweight, you're not going to ask them, "Hey, you got high blood pressure?"
But she didn't put it on her profile. If she put it on her profile,
what I care about is obesity awareness. Like, I see
if she
you
has it on her profile, then I will mention. But she didn't have it on there. I mean, she had it on there. That's literally the only reason why I was brought up.
How did you even get that far into her profile if you saw her and you weren't attracted?
It's probably at the top.
Yeah, it was
probably her picture. Then the first thing. Sometimes you see a picture, you're like, "Oh," and you scroll down one or two, and you're like, "Oh no."
Yeah, right? It's like you see the picture, and it's like, okay, this is I maybe see a little more.
Right?
You know what I mean? And I saw a little more. I was like, okay, I'm good. That's all I need to see. You know what I mean? But it's just like if I see someone mention it, it's just I'll naturally want to help.
I think your heart was in the right place.
Of course it is.
Your heart was in the right place.
He's a genuine person, but you're also. One thing about you, Mel, is you've never thought the way other people think. So sometimes when you interact, it's just weird. Because, like, I would have never done that. I would have
unless I was interested in her. Like, if I saw her and something that let's say that it said a social cause that I care about is Alcoholics Anonymous, right? Or something of that nature. I may, then if I'm interested, I'll reach out, "Hey, how you doing?" Right? See if she matches me. She matches me back. Okay, cool. Hey, listen, saw that you you care about AA. Like, are you in AA? Have you done it? Do you have a family in it? So, like, are you, like, what connects you, right, in this manner? And then, of course, we start talking. And then from there, right, depending on what she gives me, then I can share my experience or, vice versa. But that would be the correct way, or the politically correct way to kind of go about that. But you're not going to do that with somebody that you're not actually interested in talking to. So
I should just from this point on.
Yes.
Hold on, let him finish. Hold on, go ahead.
So
yes.
Hold on. So I should just not care about their health if they mention. So if someone has on their profile and I'm not attracted to them, I'm dying. I may die in like 3 days.
God.
I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't mention anything about, hey, you know what?
I mean, that's not what she said.
Chalk it.
I would say no.
Chalk it up to
honestly.
the game. Just
I
chalk
don't-
it
Hey
up to the
man,
game.
she got there by her habits.
I know, but if I am in the health field,
Okay.
it's literally like,
Change your
you know,
approach.
it's
You
just,
can
no, it's like this. Being on an airplane. If you was on an airplane
Yeah.
and someone who passed out, is there a doctor on board? Like, nah, man, I don't know them. It's just like, nah, I'm not going to do that. But it's just like, if you're a doctor, you naturally would want to help
Yeah.
because this is what you do.
I understand.
Doctors take an oath. But what I will say is, I've seen people try helping people and they get sued later. So
Right, or breaking their ribs because they gave them mouth to mouth or CPR or whatever. And
you
then,
know what I'm saying? So
you broke my ribs. I saved your life.
We
Well, you
live-
broke my ribs still in the process.
We live in a very messed up world.
Man.
And I'm going to tell you, Mel, what you're going through is what I went through. Yeah, I did early on, even with our family. I was just like, I cared about them more than they cared about themselves, and it was the imbalance. It weighed on me, and I would recommend that you do not do that, because if somebody is on their deathbed, there's a certain conditioning that they have. You're just wasting your time. They don't want to listen to you. Who are you? And if what you're saying works, they would already know. The doctors would already know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People who are seeking are going to find you. You're not going to find them. That's like, I haven't met one person, and I've done this before. I've not met one person who had some issue, and I was like, I have knowledge to help you with that issue. And they've been like, oh, okay, dope. What is it? And then they did it, and then they got the result. It's never happened. The only time, even with my friends, when I very first started doing like the health and wellness stuff, I talked to my friends about it, whatever. But if I would say, hey, you should do X, Y, Z, or you'll be, beneficial to do X, Y, Z, they would just whatever. But then when they got sick, and maybe they don't want to go to the doctor, or the medication they're taking is making them feel some kind of way, then they come to me, and then that's the only time it's been like worked.
I mean, I feel you on that, and I have people that have reached out to me, some recent, some old, and I will say that I can't give a percentage, but I would probably say over 90% of the ones that do reach out for any whatever, it's impulse, and then I find that I give them information and I'm wasting my time, right? Like it's like how are people that don't know me more willing and trusting of my information based upon what I've done with my life and what you've seen than my own friends, right?
Yeah.
And I get the whole process, or the whole thought process of, well, they've known you when you were running the streets and you were a child and da-da-da-da, and now, all that weighs in. I get it. But, I mean, I'm at the point where I realize that most people are just going to waste your time. So that's when I got to that point. That's when I said, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to start coaching, and you're not going to waste my time. You're going to pay for it. And if you want to waste your money, you can do that, right? But you're not going to waste my time. I've put meal plans together. I have put paper together. I've had calls with people, friends, and I'm like, I'm going to help you. And then basically just spat in my face. Just take none of my advice. Don't do anything. And for some people, it's just like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a phone call, da-da-da-da. Like, no, it is that big of a deal, right? Because what I do is valuable. My information is valuable. I don't have to give you a product, or I don't have to give you physical time. I'm with you, right? I can talk to you, or I can give you knowledge. That's valuable, right? And all you have to do is apply that. So some people just look at it like, well, I mean, if I'll just use it for when I want to use it. But then every time I give you something, you don't apply it. It makes me not want to help you. Like, you just keep coming back, and I'm like, yeah, bro, you can go. Here's my website, right? You can go to the website if you want to request something, or you can go to the AHA Academy. There's plenty of information there, right? Join the academy, and you can figure it out there. Or I have advised them to a different AHA coach, like. I can't help you. I'm serious. Like, you don't listen to me. Like, you want to talk to me because you're my friend, but every time I give you advice, you don't take it. You don't listen to me. So you need to go to somebody else to seek help. But I'm going to send you to somebody that's within my network or my sphere of influence, because I know they can help you, but you don't listen to me. So
That's so.
It's frustrating.
It is. It really is. I mean, but this is just an encounter with a random person.
Yeah, but
so-
you've experienced that with family yourself, right?
Yeah, I even had a conversation maybe a couple days ago.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna get into the particulars of it, but I just had a conversation. I'm just like, there's literally no point of me finishing with this statement because it's not gonna go anywhere.
It's no point.
You know?
People. I think that me and if you look at Chris's journey, and he's talked about how we've lost family members, and look back and was like, dang man, like if I had this information 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? I could have saved their lives. But then it's just like, nah, bro, there was information out there then too, right? Yeah. And they weren't applying it.